First Battle of Tarain. The First Battle of Tarain, also spelt as the First Battle of Tarain, was fought in 1191 between the invading Ghurid army led by Muhammad of Ghor and the Rajput Confederacy led by Prithviraj Chauhan near Tarain. The battle ended in decisive victory for the Rajputs. However, Muhammad of Ghor managed to escape and return to Ghazni. After the Ghurid armies were routed, they retreated to the Ghazni and left garrison of 2,000 soldiers under Zia ud-Din Chalaki to secure the fort of Tabarhin to delay the Rajput army, and was successful in keeping them at bay for 13 months, while Muhammad of Ghor, during these months, raised a stronger army of 120,000 men and invaded again, leading to the Second Battle of Tarain. Muiz ad-Din captured Multan in 1175 and in 1178 unsuccessfully invaded the Chalukya kingdom in present-day Gujarat and northern Rajasthan. Subsequently, the Ghurids defeated the Ghaznavids and conquered Lahore in 1186. Muiz ad-Din sent his envoy, the chief judge Qiwam ul-Mulk Rukna din Hamza, to the court of Prithviraj to persuade the Indian king to come to a peaceful agreement. Taj ul-Masir, a chronicle by the Muslim writer Hassan Nizami, describes the envoy as a prominent dignitary who conveyed Muiz ad-Din's message to Prithviraj in a refined and graceful manner using elegant language. Prithviraj refused to agree to the Ghurid envoy's terms. Before the Battle of Tarain, northern India was divided into numerous small kingdoms and principalities, each vying for power and territory. The Chauhan Rajput dynasty was one of the most powerful kingdoms in the region, ruling over much of present-day Rajasthan and Haryana. Prithviraj Chauhan was known for his military prowess and was considered one of the greatest warriors of his time. On the other hand, the Ghurid dynasty was based in Afghanistan and Central Asia and had already established its dominance over much of these regions. The dynasty was led by Shahabuddin Muhammad Ghori, a ruthless conqueror who had set his sights on India. Invasion of India. In 1191, Ghori launched his first invasion of India with the intention of capturing the town of Tarain, which was strategically located near the Yamuna River. Prithviraj Chauhan was aware of Ghori's plans and prepared his army for battle. The battle. The two armies met on the open plain outside Tarain. Ghori's army consisted of around 50,000 men, mostly cavalry, while Prithviraj's army numbered around 100,000, including a large contingent of infantry and archers. The battle began with a fierce charge by Ghori's cavalry, which quickly overwhelmed the Rajput lines. Prithviraj himself was wounded early on in the battle, but he continued to fight on, inspiring his troops with his bravery and determination. Despite their initial success, Ghori's army soon began to falter as the Rajputs regrouped and launched a series of counterattacks. The battle raged on for several hours, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. In the end, it was the superior tactics and discipline of Ghori's troops that won the day. Using their mobility and superior archery skills, the Ghurid forces were able to outmaneuver the slower Rajput infantry and inflict heavy losses. The Ghurid campaign that led to the First Battle of Tarain may have started in 1190, but the actual battle was most probably fought in the winter of 1191 C. The battle, sometime before 1191, Muiz ad-Din's army captured the Tabarhin fort, which was presumably under Chahmana control. According to Sirhindi, sometime in 1191, Prithviraj marched against the Ghurid army with infantry, cavalry, and an elephant force. Muiz ad-Din was about to leave Tabarhin when he received the news of Prithviraj's approach. He then marched against Prithviraj, and the two armies met at Tarain. Prithviraj was accompanied by a number of feudatory rulers, whom Minhaj describes as the whole of the Ranas of Hind. These rulers included Govind Rai, the ruler of Delhi. Sirhindi states that Govind Rai Tomar, seated on an elephant, was at the front line, suggesting that he was the commander-in-chief of Prithviraj's army. Sirhindi and later chroniclers, such as Nizam al-Din and Baduni, describe Govind Rai as a brother of Prithviraj. Firishta also describes Prithviraj and Govind Rai as brothers, stating that the two men marched against the Ghurids in alliance with other Indian rulers. Firishta portrays Govind Rai as someone who was almost equally as powerful as Prithviraj, presumably because Govind Rai was the ruler of Delhi, which had become politically important by Firishta's time. The Ghurid cavalry initiated the battle by launching arrows at the enemy's center. The Chahamana forces counterattacked from three sides and dominated the battle, pressuring the Ghurid army into a withdrawal. According to Sirhindi, the Ghurid troops suffered reverses despite having fought bravely. When Muiz ad-Din saw this, he charged against Govind Rai. Minhaj states that Muiz ad-Din, who was riding a horse, attacked Govind Rai with a lance, hitting his mouth and breaking two of his teeth. Govind Rai retaliated with a javelin, severely wounding Muiz ad-Din's upper arm. According to Minhaj, Muiz ad-Din would have died or been captured had a young soldier not led his horse to safety. After his departure from the battlefield, the Ghurid troops were disheartened and defeated. The battle ended in a decisive victory for Ghori, who captured Prithviraj and took him back to his capital in Afghanistan as a prisoner. Although Prithviraj was eventually released and returned to India, he was never able to fully recover from his defeat at Tarain, and he was eventually killed in battle against Ghori's forces in 1192. The First Battle of Tarain had significant repercussions for Indian history. It marked the beginning of the Muslim conquest of northern India and set the stage for centuries of conflict between Muslim and Hindu rulers. It also demonstrated the importance of mobility, discipline, and superior tactics in warfare, which would be critical in future battles between Indian and foreign forces. Impact on Indian society and politics. The defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan marked the end of Rajput dominance in northern India and paved the way for the establishment of Muslim rule in the region. After Ghori's victory at Tarain, he established a series of administrative centers in northern India, including Delhi and Lahore, which became the centers of the Ghurid dynasty's power in India. This marked the beginning of the Delhi Sultanate, which would rule over much of northern India for the next 3 centuries. The Delhi Sultanate was marked by a significant cultural and religious transformation of India, as Islam became more prominent and influential in Indian society. This period saw the construction of several important Islamic monuments, including the Qutub Minar and the Jama Masjid in Delhi. Military and strategic implications. The First Battle of Tarain had significant military and strategic implications for India. The battle demonstrated the importance of mobility, discipline, and superior tactics in warfare, which would be critical in future battles between Indian and foreign forces. Ghori's victory at Tarain was due in part to his use of superior cavalry and archery tactics. The Ghurid cavalry was highly mobile and was able to outflank and outmaneuver the slower Rajput infantry. The Ghurid archers were also highly skilled and were able to inflict heavy casualties on the Rajput forces from a safe distance. The Battle of Tarain also demonstrated the importance of military alliances and diplomacy in Indian warfare. After the battle, Ghori formed alliances with several Hindu rulers, including the ruler of Kannauj, which helped him to consolidate his power and expand his control over northern India. The battle also had significant implications for the future development of Indian military tactics and strategy. The Ghurid conquest of India introduced new military technologies and tactics to the region, including the use of composite bows, stirrups, and armored cavalry. These innovations would have a lasting impact on Indian warfare and would shape the development of Indian military tactics and strategy for centuries to come. In conclusion, the First Battle of Tarain was a pivotal moment in Indian history. It marked the first successful invasion of northern India by Muslim forces and set the stage for centuries of conflict between Muslim and Hindu rulers. It also demonstrated the importance of superior tactics and discipline in warfare, which would be critical in future battles for control of India. The battle had far-reaching consequences that shaped the future of Indian politics and society.